I like that sentence. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself hath any care. I don't know. But for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. I like the idea of building a heaven in hell's despair. I think we do that every day when we choose peace and love. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Journey Back to Self. These past few weeks I've been realizing how loud my mind becomes when it feels something important approaching. I did a meditation recently with the intention of asking what wanted to come through for this episode. At first, I saw in my mind's eye an asteroid about to hit the Earth, something massive, inevitable, like a pressure building up in the distance. Then I saw this Kundalini snake rising towards my third eye. And then came this feeling of nervousness, a lot of mind chatter and thoughts moving really quickly. It's almost like the meditation was showing me how loud my mind had become. And then another message came through. I heard makeshift, make do with what you have. And I sat with that for a while. Because lately I've realized how often I wait for the perfect emotional state, the perfect clarity, or the perfect conditions before allowing myself to take action or to fully live, to create, to rest, or to express myself. But I'm thinking life can be much simpler than that. Another message that came to me while I was showering was, I refuse to become bitter and hardened in the aftermath of challenges. The earth is too beautiful to pass up the chance at celebrating life. It almost became a mantra for me this week. I kept repeating to myself, the earth is too beautiful to pass up the chance at celebrating life. And honestly, I think that's the part of the lesson I'm learning right now. That maybe peace isn't something we achieve by thinking hard enough. Peace exists in the gap between our thoughts. Later, I connected with my inner child through a meditation, and then someone said, she's swimming with the dolphins right now. And I saw her moving incredibly fast underwater, so playful and free. And when I asked her what she wanted, she said, chocolate and deep breaths. That was it. No productivity, no plans, just chocolate and deep breaths. Then a few days later, I was sitting on a tree by the ocean, and it's this tree that's perfectly shaped like a bench. The trunk is almost horizontal that I can lie on it. And I saw a bird trying to fly against the wind, and the wind kept blowing it in the opposite direction. I couldn't film it at the time because it was very spontaneous. But it tried again to correct course until the wind was so strong that it threw the bird in the other direction, and that's where it ended up going. And then this came to me. As much as you try pushing towards something that's not right for you, it will not happen. Trust that you are being redirected for the best. So I think my next lesson is this. Can I create before making conclusions? Can I feel before having the certainty? Can I take action before having certainty? Yeah. I think creativity is not meant to be forced out of us. It's as if we have to feel through and be alive throughout life rather than think about it and then take action. It's more like play and less like thought. Let's close. Today I feel a bit of lack of motivation, and I feel my throat is closed up. Like speaking takes effort, and I think when I go um, throughout my days, kind of holding back things that I want to say, sometimes it's like not the right moment, or my throat starts oh god, even though the words aren't coming to me, it starts getting blocked up. What helps sometimes is humming, singing, especially in the shower, but also speaking. Then I journal. So I haven't journaled today, and I have a lot of thoughts. And when I don't journal, it's like I get overwhelmed in thoughts. Like if my thoughts were the ocean, it would turn into a tsunami. And the less I speak, the more nervous and anxious I feel. So I found that journaling is a way to get my words out without overwhelming other people. And sometimes a lot of what I need to put in my journaling is part of processing my own feelings. And I've figured that through journaling for a couple of years. And for some reason today, I'm very hesitant to paint. This is usually what happens. There's always some kind of hesitation. I'll rephrase that because I don't want to program it. In the past, I had a lot of hesitation when it came to painting. I've overcome that by always processing what is keeping me from doing it beforehand. So right now, I'm trying to do that. What I'll do is I'll just breathe for a bit, and then I'll start with one color. But I have no idea really. It's like I'm not feeling in the zone. And sometimes I just sit here and nothing happens. But I still come because I feel I'm honoring my process. I'm not always up to it, and I think it's part of the process, because art, for me, is not the painting itself. It's how I get there. Okay. Sometimes the simplest moment can become so beautiful. And I have a hard time answering When I'm asked, "What did you do on the weekend?" I tend to say, I rested. How do I explain it? Uh, I was celebrating materiality. I don't know. Okay, let's try William Blake. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself hath any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. What I love about William Blake is that he didn't only write poetry, he illustrated it as well. And I feel like the entirety of the artwork is very special because you don't only communicate through words. So I really love reading the poems inside the illustration too, even though it can be really hard to understand the writing. Yellow. So I'm going to say what's coming to me. Sit in silence. Let the silence speak for once. There will be wisdom in a pause if you allow yourself to think freely without despair. Pausing causes no concern. Please don't hesitate. But action is crucial when the time is right. And you know the time. When the time is right. Is there anything else? Because when the time is right, ... Precipitation, anticipation, preoccupation, consolation. Make use of time wisely. There is so much to live for. There's so much to live for. We cover it in red lines. Aww. I'm not a fan of like orange and blue and red. I mean, not this saturated. Red lines. Oh god. Watered down, or I can mix it with white. That's a lot of interference there. But I'm gonna do it. It's actually really dark. The painting starts changing to one straightforward um, image, and I kind of understand after what that image is. But this one keeps changing and changing. Like first I saw a bird, and then a bird flying, right? And then I see a bird with a rounded belly. Like, I have no idea what's going on here. But that's the whole point. Like, I don't need to know what's going on. I'm just following my feeling and choosing the colors that come to me and making the mark freely and intuitively. And yeah, it's going everywhere. But I think it is reflecting a bit of this sort of shape shifting where I feel I'm in this transition phase between identities, and I think when we're changing a lot, it's hard to know. I'm going to say who we are, I think. It's hard to feel like we can describe ourselves, you know? I've felt that a lot throughout my life, especially because I always felt like I was changing identities. One minute I was American, and then I was Brazilian, and then started with nationalities, but it became a whole other thing. And I think this painting is reflecting a lot of that multiplicity, but also multi-dimensionality, where I don't think it needs to look like something. It's quite abstract, because I think our identities are abstract when we're not trying to fit into a specific mold of who we should be. It becomes quite abstract, because I think we're very complex beings. Human beings are complex and have so many different facets, and I think we tend to hide some of them because they don't fit in somewhere. But what I'm learning is that it's okay to show up a certain way at a certain time to certain people. It's not about hiding, it's about adapting and being, flexible, and also giving yourself different experiences. Like, sometimes you can't be 100% all the time, and you can't show all of your sides all of the time. So it's okay to show up in that moment in time as you see fit, and the next moment you can feel something different and show up as something different. It doesn't mean you're not you. And that's what I'm telling myself, because I'm all of it. I'm everything that I do, everything that I make. Every identity I've ever lived is me. So changing is not a bad thing, unless we're afraid of it, unless we're hesitant to change. Then it becomes a block, an obstacle. I also got this book, which I really like. It's called The Dreaming Path. It's open to a random page. I'm going to ask for a message for my day. The minute I stop learning is the minute I give up on life. The more I learn, the more I am able to fulfill my responsibilities. Some people like to receive formal qualifications and certificates, while others aren't overly worried. But your learning shouldn't stop there. Without the assortment of knowledge you gain informally in your life, your skill base will be inadequate and you will not grow as you should. As with all things in life, diversity is important, as is balance. At the end of the day, however, what you have learned is of no use if you don't use it, and if you don't share it. Wow. Luke.